Hey everyone, in this video I want to talk about some Kingdom Hearts bosses, specifically the visual design of bosses, along with music and effects and that sort of thing. I'm not interested in mechanics here or how good the boss is from a technical standpoint. This is all about how it feels, how it looks and how it sounds. With that in mind, I've chosen 10 examples, and I've tried to get a variety of enemy types, so I have a range of things to discuss. Let's get started. I gotta start off with one of my favourite bosses period, that being the Cut Zisa secret boss in KH1. Named after a competition winner, this guy has a fantastic design. It's snake-like, kinda resembling Jafar's Cobra staff, with 6 arms and brandishing 2 curved swords. There's a distinct mechanical look and feel. You can even hear robotic noises during the opening cutscene. That's another point, the way this thing jump scares you out of the sand as you're flying on the carpet, the big notes of the Deep End song letting you know that this thing means business. I really like the look of Cut Zisa's attacks. The blades are vicious and deadly, and when he flies into the air for a spin attack, it's quite intimidating. The magic face too has cool effects, his shield, the tornadoes or the cracks on the ground from which these orbs fly out. There's a lot going on with this boss. I also like how he waves his hands when casting magic, along with the spell circle that appears as he locks your magic. All in all, what a cool Heartless boss, and absolutely a standout design when it comes to giant bosses. Now, how could I not include my favourite character on this list? I've opted for his replica Data fight in KH3 Remind, simply because the visuals are outstanding. Really, that goes for most of these Data bosses, but I've chosen this one specifically because there's a ton of cool darkness and spell effects. You've got that shower of lasers looking very sharp there, his explosion attack releasing these clean black streaks with a red haze. In fact, this fight is very much red themed, along with the classic black and purple colours of darkness. The mines are red too, as opposed to Dark Riku's purple ones. Where this boss really takes the visuals up a notch is the Desperation move. This is how it becomes my favourite Data fight visually. Ansem unleashes a huge dark torrent, summons his giant orbs, and now the entire area is blanketed in chaotic swirling darkness. It's so cool. The orbs firing off have great visuals and sounds. But my favourite parts here are 2 special attacks. One, when he rotates the big orbs and these pitch black spheres with blue lines on them, they fly at you. I especially like how they crack upon hitting Sora. The other involves Ansem in the middle of the arena, sending smaller versions of these spheres at you. I love the way these look. This boss has some of my favourite darkness related visuals ever, with plenty of colour and cool effects. Who'd have thought darkness could look so beautiful? And onto Ansem's counterpart, Xemnas, in his second armoured form. This is my favourite section of KH2's final boss sequence, because of the sheer spectacle of it. It's huge, awe-inspiring, and it makes you feel so powerful. Xemnas in his throne looks badass, his sword sweeps and guards, coupled with those voice lines, are very memorable, and who could forget that defeat yell he does. The rest of the fight has you gliding your way back to him, working with Riku to send bisected buildings into the frontal shield. These reaction commands are so cool. My favourite aspect of this fight is the background. Countless numbers of skyscrapers surrounding you, and Xemnas' dragon just looks amazing. I also like how it's attached at the base to a stack of Dark City skyscrapers, and how when you break its shield the second time, it falls off completely, and the hands are left exposed. I love it when a boss does this, just wows you with its cinematic presentation. Of course, there's the incredible Darkness of the Unknown music playing, and Xemnas' lines as you race back to his throne room add a personal touch. This is a hype as hell boss fight. Sköll is one of those bosses that may not be the best technically, but from a presentation standpoint is absolutely worthy of a list like this. I mean, look at this Heartless. It's big, intimidating and very aggressive. When he swipes towards you on critical mode, that's a terrifying move. The colours are very nice, it's a very clean looking boss, and the design is one of the more serious Heartless designs in KH3. Also note how he has no hind legs and he floats, which distinguishes him from looking merely like a giant wolf. This boss has similarities to Kurt Zisa in making you feel small and helpless, though Simba evens the odds and makes for some great fire and ice visuals. There's also the DM, where things just get crazy. There's a huge purple meteor above you as you try and take down enough little baby skulls, and then the situation command with Marshmallow is just... I mean, what? This moment is insane. It's like the sky is falling on you. Your snowman friend is like Atlas holding up a world as you shatter it. The way the camera zooms out to show the huge scale, just wow. First time I played this, I was just in awe of it. I never expected it for the final boss of a world based on Let It Go, the movie. And I suppose the reason for that is because Sköll is based on Norse mythology, and in that he devours the sun at the end of the world. So yeah, it makes sense. Very, very cool design. Now just look at this boss design. I think it mostly speaks for itself. But I guess I could say a few words. The rings around the outsides of the room spinning around, those are quite unique in Kingdom Hearts and give me a sci-fi vibe. Kinda reminds me of Halo, not gonna lie. You're on the back of a giant version of Marluxia's Spectre, reminiscent of the World of Chaos from KH1, and behind Marluxia is a thin, creepy Spectre with which he channels most of his attacks. It's holding his scythe, now giant, and the tall, angelic appearance is something I find really cool. It looks just like a graceful Grim Reaper, and is one of my favourite Nobody designs in the series. I wish we could see more giant Nobodies like this and Twilight Thorn. Of course, the music here is amazing. Lord of the Castle is one hell of a boss theme. I also quite like how it looks when all your cards get scattered on the battleground. I think that's a fun visual, if also a bit panic inducing. And Marluxia can teleport the Spectre to slash at you. That's another cool move. And yes, I used Lethal Frame a lot. What, do you think I'm good at Chain of Memories? But yeah, excellent final boss. Probably my favourite boss in the game. Onto something more small scale now. I want to talk about the Shadow Stalker and Darkthorn boss fights. Technically two bosses, I know, but it's one after the other and they are the same entity really. What I want to highlight here is how they use the room. For a start, Beast's ballroom has taken on a corrupted form, which is quite interesting to see. The twisting of a classic magical Disney area is very effective. Then the way Shadow Stalker uses the environment to attack, hiding in the floor to jump out at you, producing beams from the windows, and scraping at you with the pillars, which I find quite nasty looking. Makes me think of how some eldritch monster might snap at you with its mandibles or something. Of course there's also the chandelier. Breaking the Shadow Stalker out of it has a neat touch where the candles go out. On that note, moving on to the Darkthorn, there's a really cool reaction command with this where you swing around on the chandelier to remove invisibility from the beast, revealing a dark and quite threatening Heartless design. Plus, of course, the fact that this fight is beast versus beast is a fun bit of design. So I knew I wanted to include a Disney boss on here somewhere, but I wondered what would fit best. Then it hit me, of course, Chernabog. There's no Disney boss in the series quite as intimidating as what's essentially the devil himself. The way he randomly appears, no warning, unfurling from his volcano, with the Night on Bald Mountain music swelling up, that is so cool. The guy is so cool, damn it. Whoever's idea it was to include him in here, I want to thank them because it's one of the most memorable parts of KH1 to me. Just look at Sora's reaction. Purple clouds of smoke puff out with every hit he takes, and I like the sound effect too, it's quite satisfying. The fire attacks of course look great, and I'm quite fond of those little blue orbs, they look like souls. Also a lot of his movements are the same as from Fantasia, which is very appreciated. In the original Japanese release, they only had Squirming Evil as the boss theme. I'm glad that changed for the Western release and so on. The music really makes this. Again, not the best boss mechanically, but from a cinematic perspective, it's great. And, well, to be fair, mechanically, it's still better than the version in Dream Drop Distance. What I like about Eraqus in BBS is that it's a rare fight against a boss using light powers. It's quite interesting to see light from the other perspective, a dogmatic and harsh light. Eraqus also uses a fire attack for his DM, turning the screen dark ironically. It's quite a simple fight, so there's not a lot of visuals to look at, but yeah, there's also the setting being in a familiar place that's home to terror, and here you are fighting your father figure. What's also cool is the music. which is Terra's theme. Now, I don't know if it's intentional, but usually a boss theme would be related to the boss, and it could be interpreted how Eraqus sees himself as the good guy, fighting a darkness-corrupted Terra as the boss, with Terra's theme playing. It's quite interesting. And finally, Eraqus truly feels like an old Keyblade master. He's very defensive, guarding often, and slowly walking towards you, making the fight feel like a proper duel, similar to how he might have fought in training. His quick and elegant slashes show off his skill too, and having a boss with Mark Hamill lines is just a real treat. Here's something a little different, a gummy boss. It felt right that the rep for gummy on this list be the Schwarzgeist, that Einhander reference that probably made those rare fans squeal in delight. Seriously though, this is a very cool cameo. Visually, it's a great design, looks very alien and futuristic, though it has the Heartless emblem on it, so it is a Heartless ship in the Kingdom Hearts universe. It's got some cool attacks, I especially like the lasers that curl downwards. Then at the end you fight the little baby monitor, which is very easy, but it's another cool nod to Einhander, and the song After Image plays for this. Also, a little bit of trivia, fighting against the Schwarzgeist with the Endymion ship will play the original Thermosphere song instead of the remix, but both are amazing anyway. Some developers from Einhander worked on KH3's Gummy ship, so this makes a lot of sense. Yes, it's not original to Kingdom Hearts, but I think we can still appreciate the work to bring a boss from an old game into the modern age. To finish off this list, we have Yozora, KH3's super hard secret boss. Personally, I'm not a fan of the mechanical design of secret bosses like this, and I spent a lot of it using Aerial, but visually, this is one of the greatest works in the Kingdom Hearts series. That background of the city is amazing, the music is intense and beautiful. Yozora's battle quotes are fun, until you've heard them too many times, but still. The best part though is the visuals of his attacks. They are wonderful and quite unique to Kingdom Hearts. A strong tech magic focus, laser beams abound, teleporting his sword to attack you, the crossbow, crossbow's always cool, orange triangles to trap you, giant red beams, it all looks so great. But the real star of the show here is the desperation move. This is beautiful. You start with a planetarium-like dome of stars surrounding you, and it looks so good. Even the floor is sparkling. There's a mechanical ball in the center shifting around. It adds to the tech feel of the fight. Then it transitions into a totally white, crisp arena where the red coloured attacks stand out brilliantly, and hordes of Gigas and Yozora clones fly at you. Then this all ends with the veil shattering, releasing thousands of tiny white shards everywhere, and a giant red orb sucking you in. Man, how cool is that? Honestly, hats off to the visual designers on this one, because it's an unforgettable boss, and to tell the truth, one of the most visually stunning bosses I've ever seen in a game. So that's it. As you can surely tell, there's nothing from Dream Drop Distance or 0.2 here. That's simply because I haven't played them yet. As for Days and Recoded, well, come on, I don't know if that's really gonna fit here. Maybe the final Shion, but yeah. KH3 being on a modern engine has an advantage when it comes to visuals. That's why it has 4 entries here. But the older games still have plenty of cool design, even if they aren't as flashy by today's standards. I may do another one of these in the future, perhaps DDD can make an appearance there. Until then, that's all from me. Feel free to comment your favourite bosses below. There's links to various things like Discord and Twitch in the description if that's your thing, and you can subscribe if you feel so inclined. And as always, thanks for watching.